So hopefully today we'll be able to give you some inspiration, some tips, some ways to think about this, to take back to your own organizations, to be more entrepreneurial. And so here are the researches that we found in terms of, in a nonprofit, government, foundation, a social sector leader, what are those mindsets that we need to adopt in order to drive our organizations forward? So the first thing is, us personally, we need to have a resilient mindset. So as I mentioned, social change work is not easy. It is hard. We are dealing with complicated problems we're trying to solve with even a more complex ecosystem than maybe our for-profit counterparts. And so it is a very important one. We need to realize and recognize that challenges are normal and often in this environment. And so what is the antidote to adversity? What is the antidote to challenges? It's resilience. And so resilience is adopting this mindset that we're going to figure it out. We're going to work through it. We'll find a solution. Like, we can take these challenges with stride, and we have the skills and the ability and the grit that we need to move forward. And the second mindset is that we're resourceful, that we are able to build that resilience and find those solutions, turn over different rocks. If one strategy isn't working, pivot. Find a new strategy. Think of creative ways. Who are the partners? Who are the people? Who are the allies that we need to come alongside of us in order to achieve our goals? Again, using this resilience and resourcefulness, we are solutions oriented. What we find is sometimes nonprofit leaders can get caught up in the scarcity mindset or the scarcity trap, but those aren't the successful ones. The successful ones are those who understand the landmines, the challenges that might be out there, but they're relentless about finding solutions and ways around that to achieve their goals. In addition to that, how are they able to be successful? Is that they are seeking knowledge. They're continuing to learn about new innovations, new technology, new funding sources, new things that are going to help drive their initiatives forward with greater efficiency and greater ease. And last, definitely not least, but one that I think is talked about the least, is vulnerability. And these leaders are willing to show up and be vulnerable. In order to lead into new initiatives, to be innovative, and we're talking about taking a risk in order to achieve social change. In order to take risk involves vulnerability. And the more I've been researching this topic of vulnerability and the nonprofit leaders, what we're finding is, whether you're recognizing it or not, what we're finding is driving sometimes in a bad way, decisions of nonprofit leaders, is this fear of failure, this fear of messing up. And so whether you acknowledge this in yourself or not, or acknowledge this in your team or not, sometimes inaction is being taken because of this fear of messing up, because of this scarcity mentality, right? It's I have this board that I report to, or we have very limited staff, and I don't want to do something that rocks the boat, if you will, because I don't want anyone to leave the organization, or I don't want to make people more stressed out than they already are. And so these kind of fears that an innovative decision, or going for that risk in hope of social change, is you're going to mess up. That's what's holding us back as a sector. And so the very first thing is just to be vulnerable and call it out and say, with risk comes failure. Hopefully we're going to fail forward. We're going to learn from our failure. We're going to grow and adapt. But that is what is required to be an entrepreneur, enterprising, innovative leader that drives real social change, is that we have to be able to be real and say, you know what, this fear is here. I have it too. I understand. We've looked at the data. We've looked at the facts. We're going to take this risk. We're going to learn from it. We're going to be resilient. We're going to find solutions, and we're going to move forward. So that is kind of the hallmark of an entrepreneurial mindset.